WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Tonight, many questions remain about a man's death with few answers. Police say he was shot and killed near Highway 15 on Four Seam Branch Road, which is closed. Police ask that you be careful through that area here in Perry County. We have WYMT's Will Puckett now at the scene, gathering the breaking details. Will, what do you know?
Steve, good evening. Right now, information is extremely limited, but here is what we know at this hour. The Perry County Sheriff's Department received a call of a shooting around 4 o'clock this afternoon on Four Seam Branch Road in the Four Seam community of Perry County. When they responded, along with the Hazard Police Department, they found a man shot. They have not been able to confirm how many times he was shot or where he was shot. All they can confirm is that is a man shot. They do not know if they have not released if they are searching for a suspect right now. They say they are working this as a death investigation and they are not ruling out murder as a cause of death. As you said, Four Seam Branch Road is shut down. The amount of time it will be shut down is undetermined. Steve, we do not have an identity on the person that was shot. They also, again, have not released if they are searching for a suspect right now. Steve, we will update WYMT.com and WYMT if Four Seam Branch Road reopens anytime soon. We will also update with any information we learn in the case. For now, live in Perry County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Will, thank you very much. And of course, we'll hope to have more information coming up tonight at 11. A case of the flu leaves a 20-month-old from Leslie County hospitalized. 3 days have gone by and she has yet to wake up. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch caught up with prayer warriors who are anxiously awaiting to hear some good news.
Making daily trips to Lexington comes quite easy when doing it for those you love.
They're family. I love them. I'll do what I can for them anytime.
20-month-old Kaylin's flu diagnosis quickly made a turn for the worse.
For some reason, she just didn't wake up and is not really fully waking up since then, so it's been like 3 days.
Kaylin's parents send updates home when they can, while doctors continue to look for answers. People wishing to send inspiration and donations can come to Sandy Adams S&D Stop and Go.
So we set up a little station in there where they can write her a letter.
They gather their words of encouragement and hand them off to Sandy to deliver.
She's had a rough road. She's a tough baby. She has endured a lot. The family has endured a lot.
Trying to understand how flu turns into the scare, family friends plan to hold a candlelight prayer vigil at S&D for their sweet, sparkly-eyed Kaylin.
Everybody showed the support for the family. Send up a lot of prayers, trying to get her to wake up, hoping she's going to wake up. It's just maybe a little bit of time, but we'll wait on her.
Praying for a speedy recovery. In Leslie County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
That candlelight vigil for Kaylin will be held tonight at 9 p.m. at the S&D Stop and Go in Wootton. The Public Service Commission halted further discussion of two potential Eastern Kentucky gas rate increases. One of those is a rate increase proposed by Johnson County Gas Company. We told you about that one back in January. The PSC says they are investigating unauthorized debt issued by them and B&H Gas in Floyd County. Johnson County's gas proposal would have raised the rate by 107%.
Sunshine has taken over the mountains once again. Hopefully you got out to enjoy it today, because sadly that's going to go away as we head into your Thursday. You'll notice the sun starting to set on our UVA WISE camera. Blue skies have really taken over the area. That sun starting to set beautifully behind the mountains. Seeing much of the same story on our Whitesburg cam in downtown Whitesburg. We're still seeing some beautiful blue skies there and that sun setting nicely. Satellite and radar, you'll notice those clouds, especially down into Tennessee and Virginia, a little bit earlier this afternoon, but for most of us here in Eastern Kentucky, we really have seen those clear skies throughout the day. Those wind speeds, they were out of the south-southwest today, so that's why we saw a little bit of that warmer air come in and we warmed up quite nicely. You'll notice they're starting to shift out of the west, and soon it'll be the northwest as that cold front starts to move into our mountains and sadly brings us a little bit cooler air. But for now, we are still pretty warm. You'll see a little bit of blue up into the right left-hand corner, but for us here, we're seeing lots of yellow and green. Those temperatures into the low to mid 60s. It's been absolutely beautiful today, Steve, but sadly we are going to see that change as we head into your Thursday. I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. It is a problem that happens almost every year at Fish Trap Lake in Pike County. Tons of trash piles up, and whenever there's flooding, it gets everywhere. But some extra funding will hopefully help that situation, and WYMT's Connor James is live tonight at Fish Trap Lake with more. Connor?
It's an obvious problem, Steve. Just take a look around me. Plastic, glass, and just other debris scattered almost everywhere. But today, the Pike County Fiscal Court and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers out here partnered up to hopefully get some funding for this. Now, exactly how much funding are we thinking? Well, it's an extra $126,000. Officials out here tell me it's been a problem for years, and they're hoping this extra funding will help them find a long-term solution.
We've, over the years, have looked at this trash. I mean, it's every year. It's a cleanup. It's a maintenance issue for us every year. And we have actually gotten the material out, weighed it, separated it. We burn the natural material here at the project. The man-made material, of course, has to go to the landfill.
Now, believe it or not, Steve, about 95% of this is actually natural debris like wood. The other 5% like plastic, you see more of that because it floats on the surface. Nonetheless, it's just a gross situation. I'll have more at 11. I'm live in Pike County. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Connor, thank you. Every year, the park hopes to have the area cleaned up by Memorial Day. Meanwhile, Buckhorn Lake is beginning to drop. Since our last report yesterday, it's down about 1 foot. Low-lying areas in the confluence and dry hill portions of Leslie County remain flooded and could for a couple of weeks. The gates of the Buckhorn Dam remain open, releasing a large amount of water. A Perry County roadway is closed indefinitely. State officials deemed Kentucky 267 near mile marker 10 just too unsafe to travel. Officials say it's because of a large break that worsened during the weekend. There's no timetable yet to fix the break. State officials tell us around 800 vehicles use that road each day. The American Red Cross needs your help. Recent flooding has triggered the need for more volunteers. AEP donated a $150,000 emergency response vehicle to help Red Cross responders reach rural areas. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher rode with volunteers today to learn what a typical day is like.
Meet Charlene Qualls.
We help people.
She's a 70-year-old volunteer for the American Red Cross.
Just sit around and watch TV, you're going to get old and get fat and can't move.
The recent flooding sent Charlene and her husband Michael to Johnson County.
We drive the emergency response vehicle, which is what this is. Okay.
Married for 30 years and counting, they love volunteering side by side.
We like to do things together.
Well, most of the time.
I do lots of turnaround.
And sometimes it's best he just be left alone, but we do work well together. So
volunteering for the couple is fulfilling. And when the Red Cross needed help here in the mountains, they did not hesitate helping out.
People are so thankful that we're out there to help them.
While working with the love of her life is only icing on the cake.
Okay, going down this road.
Doing what she loves with her love. In Johnson County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
If you would like to volunteer for the American Red Cross, you can call Volunteer Services at 606-331-6672. Hundreds paid their respects today as police escorted the body of a Tennessee officer killed in the line of duty. That escort traveled on I-75 up through Kentucky. Police and firefighters stood on bridges and along the interstate to pay their respects. Authorities say Chattanooga police officer Nicholas Gallagher was hit by a driver Saturday night. The driver, Janet Hines, is accused of driving away from the scene. She has turned herself into police. Police are escorting Gallagher's remains to his hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio. Students from Johnson County made a push to ban e-cigarettes and other vaping products for people under 21. They testified in Frankfort today about Senate Bill 218, which would set up an anonymous hotline for students to report other students using e-cigarettes or vaping products in schools. The group of students helped draft that bill. A similar bill failed to pass a committee Monday. Soon you may not know who is carrying a gun. A bill working through Frankfort is one step away from the governor's desk. It lets anyone 21 and older conceal a weapon without a permit. Hillary Thornton shows us several people standing against this bill.
Senate Bill 150 aiming to allow people 21 years and older to carry a concealed firearm in the same places people with a concealed carry license can have their guns. Several testifying against the bill, including Anita Franklin. Her son Antonio was an innocent bystander killed by gunfire in a Lexington park.
We already have this epidemic of gun violence, you know, and they talked about law-abiding citizens get the permits. That's good. That's what we want, to have that permit to carry that gun that's concealed.
But those for the bill believe requiring that permit is not right, explaining how Kentuckians can already openly carry guns without a permit, but then need a permit once they put that gun underneath a coat.
It is not the role of the government to force its citizens to ask for their permission and to pay recurrent fees in order to be able to exercise their Second Amendment rights.
The vote was a pretty close one. Ultimately, though, this bill passing out of the committee, now only needing one more vote to go to the governor's desk. There was obviously some passionate discussion among lawmakers as part of that vote.
It won't protect me. I've lost family to this. 3 names and I'll stop. Philando Castile, E.J. Bradford, Tyrone Booker Jr. No!
Representative Charles Booker, one of the 8 no votes on the bill. Some others who are all for Second Amendment rights, explaining they have serious concerns with taking away training requirements.
I, as a gun owner, I would not be a gun owner if I didn't have to have my concealed carry. I would not have been comfortable carrying a gun.
In Frankfort, Hillary Thornton, WYMT Mountain News.
Some passionate debate. The bill now moves to the full House. From 2004 to 2012, the number of concealed weapon permits issued by the state police gradually climbed. In 2016, KSB issued more than 63,000 permits. It dropped to 33,000 in 2017. An emergency room doctor at the University of Kentucky says the opioid epidemic is nowhere near its peak, and he's trying to help patients prepare for what's to come. Dr. Daniel Moore says the drug epidemic and hepatitis C are closely linked. Hep C is an infection in the blood that takes over the liver. It's usually caused by dirty needles. However, it may not show symptoms for many years. Dr. Moore has started testing everyone who comes into the ER for Hep C.
Because of the opioid epidemic, we have known from other literature that a large proportion of our patients are infected with hepatitis C and don't know it. And what we have been doing is testing everyone who walks through the door unless they opt out.
Tonight at 11, find out if patients that test positive for Hep C are actually getting treatment. Kentucky prepares for a trip to Rocky Top this weekend. Just ahead, how Lexington Mayor Linda Gorton is getting the Big Blue Nation ready.
And you'll want to keep that WYMT weather app handy over the next couple of days because those scattered rain chances make a comeback along with the chance for snow as we head into the weekend. Those details coming up in just a few minutes.